You are listening to Grammy's Rocket Chair on RLM Radio.
The girl of your dreams has got to be in some bar.
Sorry, boys and girls, but this is X-rated. So if you're under 18...
Get out, goddammit!
Get the point? Good.
And now?
Bend over.
Y'all ready for this?
We do it all night long.
And now, your host, Grammy.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. It is a whack-a-doodle Wednesday and five. Oh, you know, I got to do something wacky every once in a while. And yeah, who in the hell is that Ben? And is he from Dover? I'm just curious, because Ben is always getting mentioned in that little intro. Thank you, by the way, Phantom, for the intro. I truly do appreciate that. That's just pretty darn fun. Yeah, prosecutors want Wiener to go to prison. Prosecutors want Wiener? That would be a headline. Whee! Okay, I'm looking over on Twitter. Thanks, Chris, for that funny little Twitter headline. Prosecutors want Wiener. All righty. By the way, thank you ever so much, Real Liberty Media and the RLM Radio and Freedoms Network and Jabberwocky and BB9 over here on Twitter. Truly do appreciate you guys. I am going to go ahead and shut down my Twitter now because, you know, Tin Can Kite String didn't use any wax on the kite string. Damn it. Oh, and a little bit of duct tape because you can use duct tape for all kind of purposes, don't you know? Okay, over here in the corner pocket. Hey, Sock Puppet, I see you. I see you. I also see me and Talos. I see Talos is saying hey. Don't really see anybody else over here in the corner pocket. Let's take a peek over here in that Real Liberty Media or the Freedoms Network site. Yeah, that place too. Yeah, hey, there's Grimmy over here, and so is KD Troxel and Vinny and Behind the Woodshed have been sharing stuff like crazy, as well as Loki Luck 3. Hey there, Loki. How you doing? Yeah. What is that? Rutherford Institute asks U.S. Supreme Court to rein in potentially violent knock and talk practices by militarized police. Yeah, they knock, they talk. You just shut up and answer their questions. Wow, talk about, that's a mom kind of thing, you know? Would you shut up and answer me? Okay, how many of you said that? Come on, fess up. Oh, well, let's see who else is over here. It doesn't look like there's a whole heck of a lot else over there right now. Over here on Fakey Book, I see David Standing Oak is over here. Hey, David. David also joined Minds. Cool Beans and his lovely bride, Nicole, also joined over there. And the lovely Miri B is over here. Hey, Miri B from Down Under. How are you doing, sweetheart? And my lovely cousin, Donna. Hi, Donna. How's things great down there in the, let's see. Yeah, you're in the great state of Texas. Yes, you are, but not in the area that was just inundated with Harvey's nonsense. Harvey had some leakage issues, as in he was leaking all over the damn place and just didn't, you know, apparently he needed to go see Roto-Rooter or something. Oh, well. Speaking of Minds, I'm over on Minds as well as Grammy Mary, so yeah. Come on over to Minds. It's minds.com and see what they got going on. They're really starting to pick up some momentum over here. And you know what? I know it kind of sort of freaked me out a little bit. Ooh. The vaccine war deepens in Australia. Vaccines are nasty, nasty stuff. Nasty stuff. Let's see. Who do I have over here? I got some, and I got one new subscriber last week that I went, really? Wow. Chuck O'Celli subscribed to me. Hi, Chuck. I've heard of you. You're famous, dude. I'm not. I'm infamous. There's a difference. Oh, well, yeah. The mind is infinite, and oh, the possibilities of the things that will fall out of my mouth on the radio. Yeah, kind of fun. And over here in the RLM, which is where you need to be if you want to give me static, because, yeah, I'm coming at you from reallibertymedia.com channel 3 and also the RLM Spreaker channel. And lots of other RLM-nums out there. So, hey there, hi there, ho there, y'all, on this WHACK-A-DOODLE Wednesday. I see Barman right up top, and Barman told me I could go home early today from work, and I really was going to do what Barman said, but the phone started ringing, and customers started coming in, and I kind of sort of got busy, and it's like, damn it. Okay. Oh, you guys are talking high-tech shit, like TV screens, and I don't want to get a new TV. I mean, I don't watch that often anyway, so, but if I got a new TV, then they'd be watching me, and, well, I just can't pay that therapy bill for them. Because, they are going to be traumatized. Because, yeah, I have critters and friends and stuff, and yeah, y'all don't want to go there. You really don't. What's this? Enough fentanyl to kill 32 million people seized in a New York City bus. Holy shit. What's fentanyl? A drug, I'm assuming. Oh, it's an opioid 50 times stronger than. I'm not going to go to NBCNewYork.com. Sorry, just not going to go there. Thank you, Health, for sharing that over here on Minds. I will go ahead and give you a thumbs up on that. Autumnal. Oh, dude, honey. It doesn't have very much clarity. So, I'll go ahead and close that. Okay. Over here in the RLM, I also see Cowboy Tech is here. Hey, Cowboy Tech. I hope you're hearing pleasant voices. And looky there. Grimner is here. Yay, Grimmy, the RLM god, don't you know? Also, the lovely Moose Girl is here. Hey, Moosey, you've been a busy woman. Haven't seen you around very much lately. And who else is here? The lovely Kate. Hi, Kate. How's things in your world? Asmodeus Asmo is here. Who broke Duck Hunt? I didn't. It wasn't me this time. Maybe is that work persona. I don't know. It wasn't me. Beth Z is here. Hi, Beth Z. How's things up there in Kanakistan? Way up east and north of me. I needed a drink of my water. Yes, I'm just drinking water, because if I had anything stronger than water, y'all couldn't handle it. BTC Bob is here, the first of the Bob twins, as well as Chalcedony. Hey, Chalcedony, how you doing, hon? Circle is logged in. Hi, Circle. How you doing, woman? I hope you got that thing I sent to you about what was it? Oh yeah, the crocheted hoods. Yeah, that thingy. A double dip and a Chloe is going on in the chat. Hey, Chloe, how you doing? I'm here, kinda, sorta. IB Don C is here talking about his big TV. Wow, bragging. I don't want to know. Don't want to know. Java Doctor 2 is in the house. Hey there, hon. How's things in your world? I also see JJ's is here. Hey, JJ's. Did you play today, sweetie? I didn't get a chance to listen in. Kind of running like a crazy brains. I know. Shocked, aren't you? Fluky, honey, make up my mind, in or out. Please. I also see Juana Taco, which does sound yummy, but I've got pork chops going in the low, slow cooker with some cream of mushroom soup. That's going to be good when I get done tonight. Let me tell you. Meisterbrower Party. How you doing, sweetheart? And the lovely Rain is here. Rain, you could drop some of that moisture here. I wouldn't complain one darn bit. My yard is drier than a popcorn fart. RLM Fluky is still hanging around. Thank you, RLM Fluky, for staying around, because you are the Vanna White, don't you know, of the RLM channel. I also see Rob Works is here, but I don't see a bubbler. Tiny Bubbles. Rob, where's the Tiny Bubbles? Huh? Tip Bob is the other Bob in the Bob Bob Twins here in the RLM. Trust No One is here. Hey, you trusty fellow, or trust number one, however you wish to say that. Flasher and I have a bit of a verbal tete-a-tete about that from time to time. I also see Phantom is here, who is the creator of my little intro. Thank you once again, Phantom, for putting that together for me. Beetle! Wow, that was fun. Beetle! Hi, Beetle. How you doing? As well as Dimma. I see Dimma. Dimma is another one of the duck frienders. And Dorky Lynn is here. Hi, Dorky Lynn. A little bit late for you, isn't it, sweetheart? Frumpy is here. I didn't get a chance to get Frumpy. I got home. I ran around. I'm still in my white clothes. Gooberzilla is here. Hi, Goob. You're so fun to chitty chat with. I also see Jehovah One is here. Damn it. Damn it. I knew I forgot something over the weekend. I was going to get a kazoo. I didn't go shopping anywhere, so I didn't get a kazoo. But hey there, Kozoo. The lovely Mary B from Down Under. Hey, Mary B. How's things down under? I hope your weather is quite pleasant for this time of year. Nenson Dubois is here. Hi, Nenson. How's things? I also see Poxified, who was chitty-chatting a little bit earlier and having just a skosh of a chitty-chat tete-a-tete with old J Dread. And I don't know. Let's see. I'm thinking I'm going to call that a draw. Just because I know J Dread would like to say that he won, but I don't think he did. I think it was a draw. I also see Pon Popon sauces here, as well as the one, the only, the sock puppet from the Irma hinterlands, where they got plowed by Irma. I hate when that happens. And finally, to round out the crew, oh no, I still got one more. I also got Tom W11 showed up. Hi, Tom W. How you doing, sweetheart? And to round out the crew, the one, the only. It's a bunch of Z's. Don't you know? Okay. Still works and no cracks. Cool beans. Okay. That we knew yesterday is no longer the. Oh, really? Wow. 4 to 6 months without electricity in Puerto Rico? Yikes! That's not... Uh-oh. Fluky just fell out again. Damn it, Fluke. It was a fluke, I tell you. Okay. Let's see. Where do I want to go? I was stuffing my pocket earlier today. Man, oh man. I kept running across things that were just way cool. And then I saw this on Twitter. It's from the Intuitive Scribe. It's a blog spot. Don't think. Now, it was originally posted August 1st of 2015, so obviously this individual has not been thinking since then. Yay! Booyah for you. Thinking is overrated. Yeah, it is, and it causes smoke to roll out my ears, and then people expect me to do it all the time, and it really gets to be a drag after a while. Don't be so busy thinking. You miss what's right in front of your eyes. Oh, that's how I get, bruises on the shins and that kind of shit. I miss what's right in front of my eyes. Step on things. Thank God I don't have little ones besides my critters. Them damn Legos in the middle of the night are killers, I tell ya. You know that life morphs faster than the wind and is deeper than the ocean. So be sensual. This is your time. Don't let thinking slow you down. Was that sensual enough? It's that word's in the next paragraph, too. Apparently, thinking sensually takes you beyond every expectation by clarifying your unique identity. Life is amazing. You sense much faster than you think. Importantly, everything you sense connects with timing and your heart. Recognizing what feels right becomes tiny bubbles of confidence and completeness that power your day, grasshopper. This is kind of fun. I could have a lot of fun with reading this. I could get in trouble with reading this. Apparently, they're talking about thinking with your senses and not the sensuality of the thing. No, I will never have a 1-900 number. Good Lord. Most people don't want to be laughed at that moment. Okay, so did you know that thinking with your senses and oh, frumpy. Goodness. Okay, I'm going to get back to it. So, thinking with your senses and feeling with your mind is internal reasoning that constantly synthesizes the finest of who you are. Sensuality is never passive. Yeah. Being present sensually regularly stamps your ticket for exhilaration and love. Va 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 voom. So, talk about intuition or sensuality, and the conversation always turns to love. That's a nice way of putting it. No matter who we are, we feel it moving inside us. Wow, this could really be X-rated. You know that? Okay. Everyone seeks love and beauty. You know, she's going to be so pissed at me for reading this. No one describes exhilaration or love as rational, which, yeah, duh, you are never rational when you're in love. Seriously? Let beauty and wonder stimulate you because what you sense connects to your spirit. Where tough love, inner gratitude, and kindness are alive and well. Use sensual thinking to strengthen and clarify your sense of self. You will collaborate, communicate, and innovate more effectively. Oh, man, those cobwebs are really starting to... Okay. Don't confuse intuition with thinking. Instead of reasoning, look at challenges by noticing what you sense. Simply notice what you notice. Now, that may seem a little odd to some of you, but you know, there are an awful lot of people that they notice things, but they just kind of walk right on by, or they just kind of let it slide, or let it fall to the back burner of the mind, or what have you. And then later on, it pops back into the front. And you kind of go, whoa, wait a minute, I noticed that earlier. You know, it's kind of like, oh, I noticed that was on sale. So when you notice something, pay attention to it. Acknowledge it. It will not be the same when you do, because that way you've got your focus in on that. You can be in a situation that looks like a dead end, so turn around and see unexplored opportunities or beauty, because life is not rational either. Life is what happens after you've already paid for your reservations. Yeah, life steps in and goes, hi there. Saw you paid for those. Guess what? Change your plans. Love is an amazing thing that has nothing to do with thinking. Depending on who is talking, there's an endless supply or a shortage. But love is always sensual. The more we give or accept love and kindness into our lives, the more we have to give. Doesn't even matter if it's returned or not, because our intuitive confidence thrives. Evolution is not rational while it's happening. Yet it's happening all the time, all over the world. We're becoming braver. Sensual thinking is a bridge of communication, paved with change. Relevant answers and exhilaration emerge unexpected. So don't miss it. Thank you, Jane Bernard, for that. I played with it. I had fun with it. And yeah, you're probably not going to be happy with me, but I had a good time with that. Oh, I've been seeing an awful lot of stuff lately on the interwebs about, kindness and going out and performing acts of kindness and not doing them because someone's going to say, oh, hey, look at that dude. He's doing an act of kindness. You're doing it simply because it's the right thing to do. Now, I'm not saying going out and, doing handouts to every Tom, Dick, and Harry that's out there, because a lot of those Toms, Dicks, and Harrys, they could probably afford to give you a handout and don't. But, you go and you give a smile, if nothing else. You'd be surprised how many people will smile back without even knowing why. They'll just smile back. You'd be surprised how many people are just absolutely shocked when you hold a door open for them, whether their hands are full or not. And what does it hurt? What does it cost you to do a little something nice for someone that's totally unexpected, knowing you're not going to get anything in return? Even if that person just kind of gives you one of those up and down looks like, the hell do you want? Nah. Just go out and do something nice. Isn't that what? I don't know, Gooberzilla. What are you talking about, honey? EPA agents now forced to serve as Pruitt bodyguards. Ah, who the hell is Pruitt, and why does Pruitt need a bodyguard? Let me see what this is. Thanks, Goober. From commondreams.org. Oh, is that Pruitt? That's Pruitt. Unsurprisingly, the number of environmental crime cases has declined rapidly since Pruitt took charge. Well, probably because they aren't being anal retentive about some of that shit, because some of it, seriously. I live out here in the middle of boonies. We got I-70 going by town, and we not so affectionately refer to it as the sewer line of the United States out here. And you would be surprised at how many wrecks there are out there. And the one that really blew my mind was when there was a dairy truck. Now, I'm talking one of them great big honking 18-wheeler trucks, semis that pulling this big stainless steel container full of raw milk. And they had to, of course, anytime you have a spill, you have to notify the proper authorities, yada, 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 blah, blah, blah. So they notified the proper authorities. And you know what? EPA said that they had to clean up all of the dirt. They had to remove every bit of dirt in that ditch that the truck fell into and leaked into, because raw milk is a hazardous waste. Now, I'm thinking that kind of mindset is a hazardous waste land. It really is. It's a very hazardous wasteland. So I'm wondering just how much of these quote-unquote environmental crimes are really crimes, or if they're nonsense like that raw milk is environmental hazardous waste. And you know what they did? They hauled all that dirt to the landfill. Oh, sure, let's put all the hazardous waste in one place. That's a smart move. Sheesh. Oh, well. This article says that thanks to hiring freeze, budget cuts, and exorbitant travel needs of the Trump's cabinet, Environmental Protection Agency agents are being forced to ditch climate crime investigations in order to serve as personal bodyguards for EPA Administrator Scott Pruitt, resulting in what one critic calls an evaporation of criminal enforcement. You're enforcing crime, is what you're doing. If it's criminal enforcement, then the enforcement that you are perpetuating is a crime. Is it not? Is that not the way that's supposed to read? It's a criminal. I mean, in the English language and other languages, the turds would be wormed around, but evaporation of criminal enforcement. You know, I don't see that as a bad thing. Color me crazy. Wait, let me get my blanket for it first. The EPA head has traditionally had one of the smallest security details among cabinet members. This is according to the Washington Post on Tuesday. But Pruitt's expansive security team, which cost taxpayers over $830,000 in his first 3 months as EPA chief, has shattered all precedent. Well, you know, it doesn't surprise me considering all the death threats out there against the current administration. You know, it really doesn't make a shitting bit of difference what face is plastered on the body sitting in that chair. You realize that, don't you? Because that person is just reading lines. You know, kind of like that Morgan Freeman thing earlier today that I shared on the RLM about, you know, Russia. It was Russia that did it. And Vladimir Putin has a bitter hatred for the United States. Not that I can't deny that because I don't know the guy, so I don't know if he does or not. But seriously, you think Vladimir is the one that made it to where Hitler didn't get into office? No, she pissed off the handlers. She was a shoo-in. She had it. It was sewed up. It is in the bag. Okay, she's the bag, and she was in the bag, which is double bagging, right? In any case, she pissed off the handlers. The leeches that be, those ones that are sucking our lifeblood dry. Yeah, or at least they'd like to. Stop playing their game. Oh, did I say that out loud? Yeah, I did. This never happened with prior administrators, said Michael Hubbard, former head of the EPA Criminal Investigation Division Boston office in Boston. Pruitt's 24/7, 18-member security detail demands triple the manpower of his predecessors and is forcing officials to rotate in special agents from around the country who otherwise would be investigating environmental crimes. All righty then. And where are all of these environmental crimes? Because we all know that the real environmental crimes, those are the ones that, they just write you a check, you give them a slap on the wrist, and they continue doing what they've been doing. Why? Because it's cheaper to just write a check every year and get a slap on the wrist. Hey, maybe they're into S&M. Never know. But, you know, that whole shittery of, oh, you bad guys, you're polluting. Now, because you're polluting, there's going to be a $100,000 fine. Who do I write the check out to? That's how that works. Then they go, the ones that they really go after are the little farmer Joes down the street that's got a few dairy cows. And, you know, well, you know, he's just selling the odd gallon or quart, who knows, of raw milk. You know, that evil stuff. And him, oh yeah, we're going to slap his pee-pee into the dirt, by golly, because he's a bad man. Ooh. Yeah, it's not even one of them industrial farms. It's just a couple of cows that he's milking by hand. Just to make a little extra money, he sells the raw milk because he can't drink it all, and the calves, well, they're weaned. Yeah, I live in farm country. Oh well. Apparently, these officials signed on to work on complex environmental cases, not to be executive protection detail. What part of do you guys not have, when you go to work for them and anything else the administration deems necessary to your job? Is that not ever, that wasn't when I was on city council, and actually my job that I have now. This is your job. And then anything else that we deem necessary that you have time to do. Or even if you don't have time to do, but we want you to do. That kind of thing. You have a job to, oh wait, no, you're probably union. Yeah, never mind. It's not only what they want to do, it's not what they're trained and paid to do. Oh, you get trained to sniff out environmental evil guys. Them ones that are out there spewing all that crap into the... Why don't you go after yourself? Wasn't it the EPA that... Or who was it that poisoned that river in Colorado a couple years ago? Was that an EPA thing? I'm having a brain fart here. I know it was someone with the government, but it's kind of gone. Apparently, the impact of this transfer of resources can already be seen in the rapidly failing number of new cases opened by the EPA Criminal Investigation Division. Oh, darn. Apparently, and they also note that the current fiscal year is on pace to open just 120 new cases, down sharply from the 170 initiated last year. Wow, y'all are overachievers now. Dang, how many corporations are out there in the United States right here and not right now that are, producing things that could be environmentally unfriendly? And you only had 170 cases initiated. How many of those were against little guys that really didn't do anything wrong? But, you had a quota to reach, and they're a little guy. They can't fight back. Let's nail their sorry ass. We've already collected a lot of fees from that company over there. They're tired of writing us checks. Jeff Rush, or Rutch. Jeff Rich, I like Rich much better, who is the executive director of the Public Employees for Environmental Responsibility, or PEER, argued that this decline in criminal cases is directly linked to the EPA's inadequate staffing, and that it will only continue to get worse as more cuts are imposed by the Trump administration, which has proposed slashing the agency's budget by 30%. Well, when you have redundancy upon redundancy upon redundancy, sometimes it doesn't hurt to slash your budget. Because I know how government spending works. I was on city council, although that's a microcosmic scale. I know how to extrapolate out. There I go, thinking. Fewer agents generate fewer cases, leading to ever fewer convictions down the road, he concluded. Oh, wow, Jeff. That's some really good logical thinking there, dude. Apparently, during his short tenure as head of the EPA, Pruitt has worked furiously on behalf of Big Oil to dismantle regulations aimed at reducing carbon emissions and protecting the nation's water and air. Work that has earned him the nicknames Pruitt the Polluter and Fossil Fuel Puppet. They're all puppets. And every time they open their mouth, they pollute the air. Duh. As Common Dreams has reported, much of Pruitt's deregulatory agenda has been drawn straight from the playbook of America's major oil and gas companies. Well, the vaccine criteria is drawn straight from the playbook of Big Pharma. Why is this a shock to you? In Pruitt's EPA, it is hard to identify even a single action to better protect the environment. I can give you a single action to better protect the environment. Shut down every frickin' nuclear power plant. That's a way to protect the environment. It really would. There's lots of better ways to generate energy than nuclear. A lot safer, too. Let's see. Oh, that was a conclusion by Kayla Bennett, the New England director of PEER. Increasingly principled professionals who have proudly served administrations from both parties are under orders to betray rather than serve the public interest. They haven't been under those orders for years already? I'm thinking they have. I mean, cripes. Some of the nonsense they've been up to. Thank you, Goober. I will go ahead and share that one. Oh, you know what? If this was a smell-a-cast, you guys could smell those pork chops cooking. Yum. I'm getting really hungry now. Okay. Where's the little good news guy? That's the one. There we go. That's the one I want. Yeah, I'd like to shut down the EPA. I'd like to shut down the whole damn government. If I ran the zoo, that would be my number one thing to do. Shut it down. Because it's obviously entirely too good at what it's intended to do, which is regulate us into a little corner with chains and muzzles. Nah, shut it down. So, let's do this one for that one. Okay. That way I can close that link. Okay, I'm going to get to, excuse me, get to something a little more fun. Oh, felt left. Good night. Hours after Irma, Miami-Dade County tickets residents for... Oh, man. Assholes. Assholes. Thank you, Rob Works. I see that you have fired up the bubbler. Nanoparticles from tattoos. You know, I have... my last tattoo was... let's see, how old? Okay, 7 years ago. Been a while. Okay, I need to get them touched up, but that makes me nervous. More meth, more meth! Candy-flavored meth approved by the FDA for kids, even though the side effects include a heart attack. Well, isn't that just special? Thanks, Java. It's called Adzent. Way. Oh, they come in pretty colors too. Yay. I don't want to put my kids on that shit. Let's see. What's that? Ooh. Boss arrives to work in a brand new Lamborghini. Yes, Tom W. Friction creates energy. Honey, you're not supposed to have friction when you give back rubs. That's what the oils and the lotions are for. Moving along. Okay, over here on World Truth TV, let's get a little bit on the weird, on the existential side again, shall we? 7 powerful lessons by 7 of the most brilliant people from 7 periods in human history. That's a 777. So, if I was in Vegas, that'd be jackpot. In order to thrive as humans, we must learn from each other. Yeah, a lot of times it's the best way to learn from a mistake is to observe someone else making the mistake and you not having the boo-boos that go along with it, whether they be emotional or real physical ones. Yeah, we don't have all the time in the world to make all the mistakes, and that's why we need to eat from the fruit of other people or that other people give to the world. Now that sounds almost gross. That's like ABC gum already been chewed. Produced through their lifetime of trial and error, experimenting and learning. Yeah, in other words, learn from other people's mistakes so you don't get the bruises. This fruit is called wisdom, and it applies to most of us. We can each learn from the wisdom of others because it holds universal truth about life. No matter how your path differs from theirs. Sock. Got me purring, darling. In any case, we each can learn from the wisdom of others because it holds universal truth about life. No matter how your path differs from theirs, you can apply their wisdom to walk your path without making the same mistakes. That's how we thrive as humanity. So here are 7 powerful lessons from 7 of the most brilliant people in human history. Who decided? Don't limit a child to your own learning, for he was born in another time, which that is really, really, really a very deep concept. Because, they don't have the same experiences that you do. Yes, they can learn from your experiences, but allow them the freedom to learn and experience their own time frame from their new perspective as well. I can't pronounce that name, so I'm just going to move right along. Life is really simple, but we insist on making it complicated. Confucius. Yes, Confucius. People do have a tendency to try and make things complicated. A lot of times, those that make things so complicated, it's part of guaranteeing that they have job security. Because if you make it entirely too simple, then everyone can do it, and that job is no longer required. When words are both true and kind, they can change the world. That is from Buddha, and yes, that is true. Also, when words are both false and vile, they can change the world. So be careful what you say, for tomorrow you may have to eat those words. Please try to make them sweet and tender, as opposed to bitter and tough. That's mine. The greatest wealth is to live content with little. That was Plato, which, be happy with what you have. The less you have, the easier it is for you to go about your life. Because if you don't have to, if you were to have to cart everything on your back, I wouldn't get very far. I need to unload some of the shit I got. I mean, stuff. We are what our thoughts have made us. So take care about what you think. Words are secondary. Thoughts live, and they travel far. That's from Swami Vivekananda. Which, first you must have thought. You must have the idea. Then you can describe it to others and then put it into action. But first you must have that thought. And if you act on that thought, then that is how people will judge you. Is it fair? Probably not, but that's life. The roots of education are bitter, but the fruit is sweet. Aristotle. Yep. In other words, don't go out there and gnaw on a pear tree, or on the root at least. I don't care what Yul Gibbons said. about pine trees. Many parts are edible. That doesn't mean they're tasty. Although my pears are pretty tasty, but I would not want to chew on the bark. Might chip a tooth. Learn from the mistakes of others. You can't live long enough to make them all yourself. Shanakya. Aha. Alrighty then. Yeah, it is best to, especially if someone says, hold my beer, watch this. Watch. Don't try to emulate. That's usually the safest. Okay, what's that? Let's see. Hey, start hunt. You guys started the hunt? What's going on here? By the way, oh, anyone can start hunt now. Cool. Dun, dun, dun. Okay. Doop, doop, doop. I'm reading over here. Instead of, okay, I don't understand what you guys are talking about, so I'm just going to move right along, okay? Okay. So, let me put this over here on the effing site. Those are really, and they're cool memes too, so, you know, if you can grab a meme. Oops. Ever eat a pine tree? No, I haven't, Grim, but I've sniffed a few pine. No, I take that back, actually. Because when I mow, I have some blue spruce in the front yard, and I have some other. I have juniper in the back, and I have a couple other pine trees. And in my mowing and in my zeal, especially to avoid running over a doggy ball that they plop right in front of the mower, I have run into a pine tree, and there have been a time or two where I have, let's just say I've gotten needles in my mouth. Usually when I'm driving, you know, the lawnmower, it's like, dang it, why did you, ah. I should know better than to yell at the dogs when I'm mowing around the pine trees. Oh, goodness. Oh, well. Life is fun. And I always find something to laugh about, if for no other reason than, God, did I really do that? Hi, Moy. Moy has joined. Poxified, calling Poxified. Oh, Pox. You know, I was wondering where that phrase came from. A pox upon you. Until I looked it up earlier because, well, Hansel was questioning Poxified on how he came up with his name and all that other fun stuff. And it's like, you know what? Oh, my sissy poo did a bed cover. Oh, I want that, sissy poo. Wow. It's very pretty. Okay, I know. Squirrel. Okay. You know, every time there's a new crochet pattern that makes the rounds on Fakey Book, someone in the family tags myself and my sis and my niece because we're the knitters and the crocheters in the family. So they're always tagging us, and it's like, oh, that's so very pretty. Okay, let's see. How do I want to go here? I'm going to do some other fun ones, shall we? I think I will. Triggered! Now there is a video attached to this. I don't remember who shared it. Saw it earlier today and thought, what? But it's in Denmark. And so I thought, okay, I'll do this one because, you know, flashers and circles. And it's from investmentwatchblog.com. A liberal American woman in hot water after she attacks a Danish man for wearing a MAGA hat. MAGA, 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 MAGA. You know, I can think of all kinds of detestable things to say about a MAGA hat, but I'll just kind of move along. I think it pretty much, make America great again. Grating. How do you spell great? Grate? Grammy's the one that clued me in that you can't grate American cheese because it's not real cheese. We can't have our own cheese? Damn it. Oh well. This first-hand account of a crazy liberal attacking a Danish guy for being a Trump supporter. It's an American woman who wanted to sit at this individual's table. And I was wearing a MAGA hat. She became visibly angry with my presence, so my friends started recording her. It took place in Unibar near Circles, near a university in Denmark. She'll have so much fun with me trying to butcher that word. We chose to take legal action the following day, and there is a case that has been opened, and she will be charged with politically motivated assault, which is a hate crime. Political violence is never acceptable, no matter one's political affiliation, which that's true. But you can't expect a leftist to engage, in an effective debate. Lacking facts, they employ bumper sticker slogans, ad hominem attacks, straw men, deflection, red herrings, and casting of aspersions. Not logic, reason, critical thinking, or a rational thought. And that really is pretty much how they roll. God, I couldn't believe how she kept saying, and I watched the video and it's like, damn, woman, triggered much? Did you have a knot in your thong? Was it made of cotton? That's probably what made you so crazy because, now you're starting to feel white guilt because you have a white thong that has a knot in it. That's that white privilege shit. Literally. But she just went off, calling him a racist and all kind of other stuff. And it's like, really? Because he has a frickin' baseball cap on his head. What the hell? I see a lot of things that I just kind of go, damn, that's just really, not cool. What is this? Moosey just shared some fun stuff. Language traps. Could this be fun, Miss Moosey? I'm going to go for it. Thank you, Moose. From workandmoney.com, phrases that will make you sound unprofessional. Oh, hell, I don't need help in that. I can do that all by myself. And ever since I read that little meme thing last week, every time I say, you want to talk to service department, I chuckle a little. Because I think, oh, you want to be serviced, eh? Alrighty. Oh, it's easy to fall into language traps that are all around us. And of course, there's something to be said for the ever-changing nature of common terms and phrases. After all, the dictionary is an ever-evolving entity that adds phrases and words all the time to reflect common usage. A lot of times, what we grew up knowing a word to mean, the way we were taught, is not necessarily the way it's used now, or the intent behind the usage with some people. So, yeah, words can be quite dangerous at times. Until you get to the point where it's like, oh, you want to play with words? Well, I'll play. I can bugger them up as well as the next guy. That doesn't mean that you can't at least strive for impeccable speech. I don't. I know better. Or the most commonly accepted, ways of saying certain words and phrases. Oh, I feebuttle them all the time. Little tweaks in your language can help convey that you understand exactly what phrase you're using and are using it properly. Plus, if you're writing an email or typing a response, and let's be honest, so much communication that happens these days happens online. Yes, it does. You'll stay on top of using the right spelling and phrasing. No, that's why I have a dictionary and why I have spell checker. Because I suck at spelling. I'll admit it. Pronunciation isn't exactly my forte either. Oh well. Hopefully, understanding the full context of where these phrases come from, you could, if you do this, if you do this right. Now, keep in mind that some of these common phrases, you won't be able to hear the difference between the so-called right and wrong versions. And sometimes the wrong way to say something still has a perfectly legitimate meaning, even if it's not the feeling you're going for in that conversation. Feelings, whoa, 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 feelings, yeah. Felix. Any advantage you can give yourself in the professional world, including use of proper language and phrases, can be really beneficial in your life and career. So, we researched common words and phrases that people too often get wrong. Did they listen to me? Oh, there I go internalizing. There's a good chance you already know some of these, especially if you're the type of person who is interested in language. But in case you want a quick refresher, here we go. Here's Johnny, or at least the slideshow. For all intensive purposes versus for all intents and purposes. I'm thinking it should be for all intents and purposes. Am I right? Am I right? It's not going to tell me until I click to the next slide. Intensive indicates that something is powerful and focused. If you're discussing an intensive purpose, you're simply indicating one focused purpose, or perhaps a few very focused purposes. The more common phrases for all intents and purposes indicates that something is common or is coming from more or less all important angles or opinions. So, for all intents and purposes, all intensive purposes is usually the wrong thing to say. Alrighty. It's like the difference between saying Pacific and specific. I know an awful lot of people that say, let's be Pacific here, and it's no, Pacific is an ocean, hon. Even I know that one. How about I could care less versus I couldn't care less? Actually both of those are correct, because with the first one, I could care less basically means I could care less, but, well, I'm just not feeling up to it. Or I couldn't care less, which is, wow, that is so low on the totem pole. That is scraping the bottom of the ocean. Okay, that's in the Grammy mind. This is an extremely commonly misused phrase. While most people love to throw out that they could care less, which, yeah, they could care less, but they don't want to be bothered with it, in an attempt to show how little they care about an issue, they're actually communicating the opposite of the usual phrase's intent. Really? Well, I don't know that I'd say the opposite, just not as vigorous. Vigorously. That's that sensual thing again. So, when you stop to think about what you're saying, could care less means you not only care, but you care enough that you would have the ability to care less if you wanted to. So if you're trying to convey apathy, saying I couldn't care less is much more accurate. Well, yeah, okay, if you're trying to convey apathy, but I'm rarely apathetic. I could care less, but I just don't feel up to it. I'm conveying that I'm just feeling mentally lazy right now. And a little on the emotional lazy side, too. Okay, one and the same versus one and the same. Have a drink of the beverage before I get into this bad boy. So when you and friends are discussing two different instances that you realize happened with the same person, you're discussing one and the same person. It's hard to determine what one in the same might mean, since one is a noun, yet the same isn't exactly a specific location for that noun to go. Okay. That description just totally lost me. On accident versus by accident. Well, I was... Okay, this is the difference between a preteen, okay, back in the day, a preteen, and an adult. Nope, I was wrong. When something happens by accident, nobody saw it coming. It was a happenstance instance. Now, sometimes I see something happen by accident, but I see it coming, but it's like, do I want to stop it or do I want to get popcorn? But when something happens on an accident, it means that whatever went down actually went down on top of an already existing accident. Or it's just piss poor grammar. Or it's just a child. And in reality, that's likely not what you're trying to say. So, trying not to say on accident, by accident, when you're trying to describe a mistake, since that will make it a double whoopsie. On accident. Accidentally on purpose is my favoriteest, but, because lots of times there's a little part of me way back in the back that's going, it was an accident on purpose. I have very few accidents. Falls by the waist side versus fall by the wayside. Who says fall by the waist side? If it falls by the waist side, it fell beside the trash can and you got piss poor aim. Who says that shit? Hey, Sock. Hey, Tom. Welcome back. Triggered. Oh, it's another name for syphilis? Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Okay. So, though the movie Remember the Titans made the left side of the football team defensive line the strong side, people rarely label sides in everyday life. Oh no, obviously you guys haven't been paying attention to politics lately. Even more rarely would they call any side of something the waist side. Well, it's right beside the waistline. Unless, of course, they're discussing an area where physical garbage is present. So, if you want to communicate that something hasn't kept up with the rest of the group, use wayside. It's that wayside over yonder. Over yonder. Over hill and dale. Who is Dale? And why is it going over a hill before it gets to Dale? Self-deprecating versus self-deprecating. Oh, self-depreciating. See, I didn't even see the I in the first one. Wow. Self-depreciating. Well, you're knocking yourself down. It's depreciation, you know? Some things appreciate as they age. Some things depreciate. as they age. And when you're doing it yourself, so don't give yourself another reason to be self-deprecating about your colloquial abilities by using the incorrect phrase self-depreciating. Depreciation is an economic term to indicate that something is losing value. Ding, 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 ding. Duh. And when you're self-depreciating, then that means you're worth less as opposed to being worthless. Though you can deprecate and be hard on yourself by pointing out your flaws, you're not automatically losing any human value. Although I'm sure there are some out there that would be depreciating you anyway. Oh, this is, irregardless versus regardless. Irregardless. I just got to the point where I quit trying to correct a certain individual that I used to work with, and I just kind of sort of would do that inner cringe every time he used it, because I would say, that is not a word. Yes, it is. Or, nuh-huh. Is my bubble off? Oh, darling. You have no idea. Whoo! So, despite the fact that irregardless is technically in the dictionary, really, it is not a word most folks will ever need. To be fair, the phrase TL semicolon DR, which means too long, didn't read, for any non-Redditors, okay, is also in the dictionary. Sometimes colloquial words or phrases are added to the dictionary to reflect the fact that people are using them and to help other people understand what they might be saying. But irregardless remains rather nonsensical and repetitive, regardless of its place in the dictionary. Why put it in the dictionary if it's not a word? I ask you this. Why is it there? And if you're putting things in the dictionary that aren't technically a word, then why don't you put some of the shit I make up in there? I need to write my own dictionary. That's all there is to it. So does something jive with a V, or jibe with? It depends. If you're jiving with, you're out there boogieing, you're shaking your groove thing. You're more than welcome to jive with something, but just know that at least in most business settings, you probably mean you jibe with it, not jive. To jive is a much more playful, often musical verb. But to jibe with something means that you're getting along with or understanding it. To jive with something means that you're likely spitting hot scat in the spitting hot scat in the basement of a musical jazz club? Who is spitting hot scat? Because scat is, you know what scat is, don't you? Who would be spitting it hot? Okay. So, if that doesn't jibe with what you're trying to get across, don't use it. Thanks, grammar Nazis. So, tongue and cheek or tongue in cheek? Okay. I'm trying to think of which one would be more appropriate, because I've been known to use both. So, it may be tongue in cheek to try and get another person to say tongue and cheek, since you'll be insincerely attempting to get someone to say something meaningless. No, if you're saying that it's on my tongue and cheek, like canker sores, those hurt. So when something is said tongue in cheek, there's a feeling of exaggeration, sarcasm, or irony involved. When something is said tongue and cheek, well, it can really only mean that two facial organs were involved. Okay? And your point? Oh, yeah. Moving along. Make do as in D-O, or make do as in D-U-E. I would make do, as in D-O, because I will get along just fine. But if I make it do, then that means you owe something. I know that difference. Both of these phrases are perfectly useful in different situations. If you want to make do with something, you're getting by with whatever you have. Making do means creating a deadline or due date for something. Ta-da! Ding, 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 ding. Do I get a cookie for that? I was right. I was right. That doesn't happen very often. So, if an employer hasn't made a specific project due and isn't giving you the resources you need to do it properly, you make do with what you have and finish it whenever you want. See, just another one of those wonderful things about the English language that makes everybody in all the other countries shake their head and go, what the hell were they thinking? Okay, they may not say it like that, but you get the gist. Nip it in the butt versus nip it in the bud. Well, first one sounds fun. So, let's nip this commonly misused phrase in the bud right now. The origins of this phrase come from the idea of debudding flowers. So, there were actual buds involved. So think twice before you change that bud to a butt, because you'll be communicating something completely and embarrassingly different. Oh no, I would not be embarrassed by nipping someone in the bud. I mean the bud. Yeah, it wouldn't embarrass me one bit. Not one little bit, because that's kind of sort of how I roll. Shoe in versus shoe in. As in shoe fly, don't bother me. Yeah, I know them damn jive turkeys and jive talking and honkies and what? What is that sock puppet jive? The word appears. Thank you for looking that up. So, let's see. Okay. Emmy ruins all the fun games. I'm like, fee, fi, fo, fum. I smell the blood of an Englishman. And she interrupts me. Dang it. Trust, that just, wow. Little ones have a tendency to just mess with you, don't they? Okay, so shoe in as in HOE-in or shoe in versus shoe fly. So let's see, which one is correct? I think we know. The difficult elements of this phrase is that the wrong phrase, shoe in, has a really powerful visualization that makes it feel right. To say that someone has a shoe in, as in SHOE, to win feels like you're trying to say that they've already got their foot in the door. Another common phrase. The actual phrase is a shoe in, as in SHOO, and it dates back to horse racing days when you could urge or shoo something towards victory. No, I thought that was a giddy up go. Diddy up do, cowboy. Moving along. Peace of mind versus peace of mind. I will give you a piece of my mind versus how I have peace of mind. So when you give yourself peace of mind, you might consider giving someone who upset you a piece of your mind. And though they're said the same, their spelling indicates two very different meanings, which, yeah. Peace of mind is what comes when you know the conclusion or outcome of something, often indicating something positive has resulted. Peace of mind is sharing a bit of your own thoughts with another person, and is often done when someone has upset you or frustrated you. So if you're emailing your boss and give them peace of mind, be sure it doesn't include an angry piece of your mind. But that's all, folks. Okay. So, a peak interest versus a peak interest versus a peak interest. Oh, the lovely spelling games that we play. So, peak, as in P-E-E-K, is peekaboo, I see you. All three versions of the same sounding word seem like they could work properly to indicate getting interested in something. But piqued, as in P-I-Q-U-E-D, actually means to excite or create interest or curiosity in. So sure, you could technically peek at something interesting if you're sneaking around, and you could also have reached your peak level of interest on a topic before wanting to move on to something else. But in terms of something piquing your interest, be sure to use this version of the phrase, which is the I have been piqued. Yeah, that's how you have to pronounce it sometimes for some people because they just plain don't get it. So, do good versus do well. I'm a do-gooder. I'm going to do it. I'm going to be a do-gooder on this one. The good and well debate is one that grammar lovers enjoy getting into regularly. It employs all sorts of juicy discussions about using adverbs instead of adjectives. So, to keep it simple, stupid, just remember that if you're doing good, you're likely giving generously to those around you. If you want to show that something was done properly or up to agreed upon standards, it was done well. So, as opposed to well done, which is the way some people prefer their steak. So, Mother Teresa did good, and she did her job well. Oh, that's a whole other debate. Mother Teresa. Yeah. A moot point or a mute point versus a moot point. So a mute point, when you mute something, you render it silent. That's why you can push the mute button on a remote, but they do not work on people. Trust me, I've tried. Yet, when you decide something is a moot point, you make it irrelevant or subject to debate. There is no mute button on a remote because it's much more philosophical and less physical action. Well, damn it. That took all the fun out of the remote control. So, is something nerve-wracking or nerve-wracking? Oh my Lord, you know, I've been in both of those modes. Especially at work. So trying to use the phrase nerve-wracking correctly can cause you to be a nervous wreck. Perhaps that's why many people jump to the conclusion that nerve-wrecking and nerve-wracking are the same things, which no, they are not. The proper way to say your nerves are standing on end is that the situation is nerve-wracking. You can also use nerve-wracking with the R, taking out the W. Get that W out of there, since racking and racking are essentially interchangeable. Really? Okay. I'll have to think about that one. Now. Oh, really? Seriously? By and large versus by and large? Do people really say by and large? Oh, wait, no. Okay, we're talking about people here. So, by and large is commonly credited as a sailing term, but in its original usage, it began as a phrase that means in general or generally speaking, or something that gives you some idea of generality. Buying in large is something that you typically do when you buy in bulk at a wholesale store like Costco. Or, I like that t-shirt, but I have to buy it in large. You know, something like that, which I haven't worn a large in and usually that's you know, sleeping attire kind of. Buy a large comfy t-shirt for sleeping attire. But moving along. Unless you're talking, okay, if I'm buying the little girly t-shirts, you know that, yeah, I have to get a large because I have breasts. In any case, proceed versus precede. Oh, those are two completely different. Yeah, I could see how that one could befuddle people. In this instance, both are legitimate words with perfectly useful meanings, but knowing the difference between them is integral to make sure your message is clear. So if you want someone to continue talking, you ask them to proceed. If you want to talk before someone, you're going to precede them in speaking. Pre and pro. Shade light on or shed light on. How do you... Okay. So when you shed light on something, you bring it more clarity. It'd be interesting to learn how to shade light on something since shade hides light itself. You can shade light itself, but to shade light on something maybe could mean you're making it slightly more confusing if you really want to keep using the term shade light on. Otherwise, if you want to denote that you're bringing something more clarity, you want to shed light on it. Are you shedding? You're shedding your light. Now we're getting existential again. Okay. Down the pipe or down the pike? Really? Down the pipe? Is that like a pass the lips, pass the gums, look out stomach, here it comes kind of thing? Okay, let's find out what this one is. I'm having fun with these, Moosey. I don't know about the rest of y'all, but I am. So in Nintendo, Mario may travel down the pipe into new, strange underground worlds. But in real life, something coming down the pipe simply means it's actually traveling down out of a pipe. Theoretically, thanks to gravity. Or unless you have a really good pump on the other end. The phrase down the pike comes from the idea of something coming down the turnpike and denotes that something is headed your way in the future. Ah, I didn't know we had turnpikes that brought the future to us. I thought we just went to sleep and then woke up. Well, wait a minute, because the future doesn't, because we're always in the now. And see, existentialism is a bugger sometimes. So, a doggy dog versus dog eat dog. Huh? Are you kidding me? Do people really say that? Okay, I asked that before and then I had to correct myself. So a doggy dog is an adorable description of your canine companion. No, I don't call them doggy dogs. That's like saying manly man. Or macho man. Manly man. Macho man. Doggy dog. That's a dog that is in touch with their dogginess. Or a dog eat dog idiomatically means something is highly competitive or ruthless. So sometimes it can feel like a dog eat dog world out there, but at least we have adorable doggy dogs to cheer us up. Yes, because that doggy dog is in touch with its dogginess. So are you going to flush it out versus flesh it out? One sounds painful, one sounds like you're cleaning the pipe. So if you're brainstorming in your brain, let's start this over again, shall we? If you're in a brainstorming meeting and you've got a kernel of an idea, just a little seed, you shifted through all the chaff and you found this little bitty kernel, you and your team may want to flesh it out. In other words, get rid of the debris and get to the meat of the situation. That means slowly but surely creating a whole idea by layering structures upon each other. Oh, and I thought it was digging down. Whatever. I look at it more as a getting to the meat of the subject. But say that in that same meeting, there's a small problem with the structure that you already created, and you can't yet pinpoint what it is. Oh, that's when you want to flush it out. To remember which of these two similar sounding phrases you want to use, just think of the visuals involved. Okay, I think of the visuals involved. Flesh it out. I get it now. You start with the skeletal structure and then you start adding muscular tissue and flesh and verste. Got it now. A physical year versus a fiscal year. Those are two completely different concepts, by the way. And I think it was bankers that developed the fiscal year bullshit. So a physical year refers to the calendar year that helps everyone pass time in a universal manner. Even though time is not real, it is a man-made construct, and yet if we did not have time, we would not have memory and we would not learn from our past mistakes. Moving along. A fiscal year is a similar idea, but only applied to finances. See? Bankers, those dirty bastards. So while everyone celebrates the passage of time in a physical year, typically only business people, especially those involved in the financial realm, like accountants, follow the passing of each fiscal year. Note they did not say that they celebrate it, because it's never, ever something to celebrate. Oh, my doggies are barking. What? Deep-seated, as in S-E-E-D-E-D versus deep-seated. Deep-seated is putting those seeds farther in the ground. So, the most confusing part about these phrases is the fact that both of them have compelling visuals. If you plant a deep seed, you assume that it's safe and will eventually make its way to the light. That's not always true, though, because you can plant them too deep and they can't get the sprouts up and they'll quit before they break the surface. But to get back to this, and the phrase deep-seated, which is technically the correct terminology, means something that feels buried deeply within an already existing structure, which is kind of sort of the Guberment BS that's going on. It is buried deeply in an already existing structure. And it's usually what buries it is defecation. So, while both totally make sense, if you really have a deep-seated need to be grammatically correct at all times, avoid using deep-seated. Unless you're gardening. Sneak peek versus sneak peek. Now, if you have a sneak peek, you can have a mountain peak or an ice cream peak, or a whipped cream peak, or let's move along. While these two phrases would be impossible to decipher in a verbal conversation, you'll only ever want to write one of these if you want to be accurate. A peak, P-E-A-K, is a noun describing the top of a mountain or some physical place, like an ice cream cone or whipped cream, or now I want a sonic blast. Good thing it's miles away. So, if you sneak a peek, P-E-A-K, you're somehow slyly getting the top of a mountain into a surprising location, which doesn't really make sense. Well, not when you're talking about a mountain, but if you're talking about... Okay, let's move along. The correct term is a sneak peek, P-E-E-K, which means that you're slyly giving someone the chance to quickly glimpse at something, like that peak that you have over there. Are you bemused or are you amused? It's not just alphabetical order that goes with this one. Though they are both descriptions of relatively dramatic emotions, they are on opposite ends of the feeling spectrum, and they are reversed alphabetically in this case. So, to be bemused by someone is to become bewildered by it. To be amused by something is to enjoy it. So, If you go see a scary mystery movie, you're choosing to possibly become temporarily bemused for the sake of being amused. Well, if it's a scary mystery movie, I think you would be bemused for the sake of being entertained, not necessarily amused. Anyways versus anyway. Get the S out of there. Although I do say that. Oh, there's nothing wrong with saying anyways in conversation or casual conversation, but adding an S to the end of anyway makes a conversation significantly more colloquial and relaxed. So if you're in the middle of a professional presentation, consider dropping the anyways and keeping your speech crisp, clear, and technically correct with anyway. Anyway, escape goat versus scapegoat. You have a goat that got loose, huh? You know, you have to be really careful with goats because they can escape from pens. They're tricky little buggers. So if you're using a goat as transportation to escape from a situation you don't want to be in, you could call that animal an escape goat, or it could be an escape artist because it's a master at escaping out of the pen or whatever area you're trying to keep it corralled into. And you would be technically correct. But if you're looking to describe a person that is taking the brunt of the blame for some difficult or trying situation, you would call him or her a scapegoat or POTUS. That's a synonym. Synonymous, for those of you. Without further ado or without further ado. Adieu, without saying goodbye anymore. So, adieu is when you bid someone a fancy farewell. Adieu is a delightful phrase for hubbub, hullabaloo, or fuss, which are all also really fun words. But if you're trying to say that you want to cut right to the heart of the matter or cut to the chase, you want to get to it without further ado or drama. If you want to end an interaction with some flair, you would say adieu. Of course, if you're in the middle of a bunch of people saying adieu to no end, and you want to be done, you could write without further adieu. Then again, you could also say without further ado and cover two birds with one stone, which got to be a really big stone. Step foot versus set foot. Really, if you step foot inside, okay, I can see where that could be confusing for some. Both of these phrases have been around in our language for a very long time, and both are more or less interchangeable. But the phrase set foot, as in the minute I set foot in that room, I want it to be ready, is significantly more popular, and according to the Oxford English Dictionary, seems to be a couple centuries older than its similar sounding predecessor. Step foot, as opposed to an adopted or married into the clan foot. Should have or versus should have. Okay, you're supposed to say should have. The biggest reason people often get these two phrases confused is because of the way should have contracts. The contraction of should have becomes should have, which, if you say it quickly in everyday conversation, certainly sounds like should of. And while maybe no one in your fantasy football league will hear the difference between should have traded my QB when I got the chance and I should have traded my QB when I got the chance, in a more professional setting, you should always have and have in your correspondence. So I should have. Try and versus try to. Try and. I'm going to try to and try and. Try and. Is that kind of like a try? Never mind. Excuse me. So, if you say in everyday conversation that you're going to try and do something, the world will not end, and even the most stringent grammar police will likely let the phrase slide. It's so common that people don't even think twice about using the two phrases. But since we're going to try and set the record straight about the technical proper phrases, it should be noted that try to is grammatically correct. Wee-oo, grammar Nazis. So when you try to do something, you are attempting to move towards some stated goal. But when you try and do something, you are trying and then doing something else. You can try and fail if you attempt to reach for something and fall short. Or you can try to fail if you purposely want to not reach your stated goal. If you're on beck and call versus beck and call. So if you have a friend named Beckon and they dial you up, you can happily say that you're going to take this beckon call knowing that you are completely grammatically correct. But if you want to say that you're actively listening for an outside demand or request so you can fulfill it quickly, you'd want to say you were at someone's beck and call, which, yeah, I knew that. I knew that one. So hone in versus home in. Y'all are really, wow, these are, So like many of these examples, both of these are correct in their own way. But knowing the difference between the two extremely similar sounding phrases will help make sure that you're always nailing the proper meaning. So when you hone in on something, you're focused in on, and theoretically becoming distinctly better at, like a skill or a trade. But when you home in on something, you're moving towards a larger goal or target. You know, it's like that game, Colder, Hotter. Okay. It's easy to remember if you think about it when it comes to a specific goal. When you want to home in on your goal of becoming more musical, you'll want to hone in your piano playing. Don't know that I would ever use that. So, lastly, case and point versus case in point. Case and point is like set and match, I think. So likely derived from shortening the similar phrase in a point of fact, case in point means that you're specifically focused on and calling out a matter at hand as an example to forward your argument. Using and to connect two words typically denotes that there are separate actions or ideas involved. So, while it's not wrong to say case and point, like set and match, it may sound like you're casing a place as if to size it up for a robbery and pointing at specific elements. No. Excuse me, I don't think I would have gotten that one. Oh well. Thank you, Moosey, for that one. That was kind of spiffy. Kind of nifty, kind of fun, kind of interesting. I was wrong about a couple. I know it's kind of scary that I was... Okay, no, it's not scary that I was wrong because I do that quite well. But I'm trying to click her back so I can get to the beginning. And it's just not wanting to click very fast. Dun, da dun, da dun, da dun. Hey. Okay. Man, I'm really having a hard time focusing because I can smell my supper. And it smells really good. So, come on, go back. One more. Thank you. Now I can share it. Thank you once again, Moosey. I'm going to share this over in that Freedoms Network real quick. Oh, I haven't refreshed this page either to see if maybe TD is here or... I'm doing lots of reading tonight, apparently. Okay. How's about we check out what's going on the pig? See what happened this date in history, because dang. Okay, and the pigsters right off the bat. If anything I post on my page offends you, blame your parents for raising a pussy. That is from Hambo. Leave it to Hambo. You know, he's so good at mincing words, don't you think? Let's see what the... Okay. Here we go. Y'all are going to enjoy this one. Most definitely. I don't know where Hambo finds these. But he finds some good ones. Trump threatens Iran, North Korea, and Venezuela. Trump will still skin. You need to stop that shit. Seriously. These are itty-bitty countries. Just stop it. We do not need a war. We do not want a war. Stop. Frickin' idiots. Now, I'm not saying a little country can't cause a lot of damage, but seriously, all of this little war drum beating is getting very, very old, and I'm getting very, very tired of it. Y'all need to just cut that shit out. So, back to the pig. Thank you, Hambo. The word of the day is spin doctoring. Oh, thank you, Bill O'Reilly. Deliberately deceptive discourse used to manipulate public opinion by stressing irrelevant facts and ignoring important but inconvenient ones. See also MSNBC, CNN, and Messiah Barry. May he live forever. Not. Quotable quotes. About Hillary Clinton. You probably can't use the term toxic cunt in your magazine, but that's what she is. Her very existence insults the spirit of individualism in this country. This bitch is nothing but a two-bit whore for Fidel Castro. That is from Westward Newspaper, Denver, Colorado, July 27th, 1994. The Nuge said that. Dang. Nuge, serious. Oh, excuse me, hiccups again. Just don't hold it in, Nuge. Let us know what you're really thinking. Scrolling. This date in history. Wow, they got 4 of them. So, the 20th of September, 1904, aviation pioneers, the Wright brothers, fly in a circle in their Flyer 2, head back to the old drawing board, determined to figure out this flying in a straight line thing. And that must be where Jose got it from. Go home, Jose, you're drunk. You keep circling. This date in history, the 20th of September, 1934. Ageless Queen of Cleavage, the only 83-year-old woman who still rates a heartfelt hubba hubba. Sophia Loren, born in D-Cup Heartland. Happy birthday, Sophia. Wow, 83. Dang, Sophia. You're almost as old as my mom. So, the 20th of September, 1972. Obviously worried that the whole music thing might not last, Paul McCartney tries his hand at agriculture, gets busted by cops for his homegrown patch of marijuana, And finally, this date in history, the 20th of September, 1973. Billie Jean King shuts up a gas bag named Bobby Riggs in a tennis match. Wow, was that really that long? I watched that match. Holy crap. Wow. Okay. They also have another thing here in their little piggish tidbits. From the Rockland parents speak out at the school board meeting on transgender kindergarten lesson. The Rockland Academy Gateway School officials and district administrators said they've heard from a lot of parents, teachers, and stakeholders about a kindergarten lesson that focused on what it means to be transgender. Back in June, a Rockland Academy student born a boy was reintroduced to her class as a girl. A teacher then chose to read 2 books about being transgender to her class without notifying parents or administrators beforehand. Since then, a wave of backlash has come from several parents and the public. The board meeting Monday night was moved to Rockland Events Center to accommodate the large crowd. Good. Let your voices be heard. Many parents supported the school's decision to introduce a difficult topic to the children. Others felt they should have more say over what their children can and cannot learn. To teach my kid that biologically this boy was born a boy, and to teach him that now he's a girl is very confusing, and I feel that it's a lie, said Chelsea. I'm not going to butcher that last name. The school administration sent the board 5 recommendations, some that change or amend the rules, others would keep the rules the same, and they are as follows. Affirm existing literature selection policy, allowing teachers to use books outside curriculum if it's age appropriate. Provide mandatory notice to parents before controversial or sensitive topics are introduced to kids. Affirm commitment that no students will be bullied. Adopt policy that would notify parents and students that any student may request a special accommodation if a student is uncomfortable using a particular bathroom. Decline to adopt an opt-out policy. Parents wouldn't be allowed to opt their kids out of a lesson if they find the subject controversial, or opt out of, that's outside of sex education, which, kindergarten, duh. Public comments started at 6 p.m., and after more than 5 hours of impassioned statements from both sides of the aisle, a motion to accept all of the recommendations passed unanimously among the school board's 5 members. Gender identity is part of a protected class of characteristics that include religion, race, ethnicity, disability, said Elizabeth Ashford, spokesperson for the Rockland Academy Gateway School. So it is definitely an environment where the school's trying to make it an equal environment and a safe environment for all students. Oh, I'm going to have to ponder on that one for a while, because I'm thinking, who in the hell and what in the hell are they teaching their kids that a child last year identified as a boy, which anatomically that is what this child is, and this year they identify as a girl and anatomically they are still a boy? This is a can of worms that I don't think y'all really wanted to open up. Especially not in kindergarten of all times. Children play dress up all the time at that age. Let them play dress up without assigning your mindset on it. Ay. Making me crazy already. Okay, crazy-er. I gotta add the because, yeah. Wow. I am just about out of time. Dang, did time ever fly or what? Give up the dollar and get some instant demo crazy? No. And get a brand new central bank as a bonus? No. No. Don't want to. Yeah, I know he wants to start 3 wars. You know, they've already got a war going on. It's a war for your mind. And all this other shit is all just tactical maneuvers in that war. They just haven't started the actual physical altercations yet. But we don't need to have those stupid physical altercations. Oy. Oy. What are these that you shared, Goober? Oh, Kim Jong. What's the other one? Yeah. The Oompa Loompa King. I'm just not impressed with these people. Not at all. Hi, KD. I see you commented on something. What was that? Let me see. I scroll. EPA was never about That's true. It was never about protecting the earth. They're about licensing despoilers. Getting a piece of the action, which, yes, much like any other governmental agency, it's what's in it for them. They will tell you it's for your own good, but it never, ever is. Anytime someone says, I'm with the government and I'm here to help, get the butt pucker and head for the hills. Okay. Here's that Morgan Freeman. I'm just going to go ahead and share it again, because it's freaking insane. Okay, this one is from RT. We're at war. Committee to investigate Russia weaponizes Morgan Freeman. So, Hollywood actors often speak their minds about domestic politics. Fine, whatever. Each person has their own opinion. That's peach kino. But now, some in Tinseltown are also joining the anti-Russia chorus, accusing Moscow of using hacking, Twitter armies, and fake news to interfere with the U.S. election. Why not? The U.S. does it all the time. How's it feel having it done right back at you? Not saying that they did, but how's it feel? The major player in the campaign is actor-director Rob Reiner, who joined up with Atlantic senior editor David Frum, a former advisor to George W. Bush, and former National Intelligence Director James Clapper, among others, to launch a nonprofit committee to investigate Russia, because you know those damn communist pinko spies are always up to something. This is the same James Clapper who said there was no evidence of Russia's interference in the election, though he later changed his story. To understand the gravity of Russia's invasion of our democracy, today we launch Committee to Investigate Russia. And Hollywood's Morgan Freeman also jumped on board, making a 2-minute video for the CIR in which the actor blatantly accuses Moscow of interfering in the election. Yes, we've been attacked. And we are at war. With a former KGB spy, angry at the collapse of his motherland, plots a course of revenge. Seriously? Morgan goes on to accuse Putin of establishing an authoritarian regime and setting his sights on his sworn enemy, the USA. The actor then accuses Putin of using cyber warfare to attack democracies around the world. Are you projecting much? That's pretty much what the USA does. In particular, Freeman says Putin uses social media to spread propaganda and false information and convince people in democratic societies to distrust their media, their political processes, even their neighbors. Well, I trust my neighbors because I see them real regular. And I know what pretty much, at least on the outside, what they're up to. So I trust them a hell of a lot farther than I trust the media and politicians. So, I'm going to go ahead and share this over on the effin' site and over on Corner Pocket. Like a showbox or a shoebox. Spelling's everything, sock. Sorry, I just saw that. Oh well, y'all been listening to Grammy's Rocket Chair here on RealLibertyMedia.com, Channel 3. Also on the RLMRadio.xyz site, the RLM Spreaker channel, the RLM TuneIn channel. Yeah, a couple others, I think. In any case, it has been a whack-a-doodle Wednesday, and I will be back on Freaker Friday for the Freaker Friday edition of the Rocket Chair. But until then, y'all have an absolutely splendiferous rest of your evening. And tomorrow evening, because I won't be around tomorrow evening to play on the computer because I got an appointment with Lisa B. We're going to do some girl stuff, and I'm going to get my hair colored and trimmed, and we're going to chit-chat and all that fun stuff. So, I will see y'all on Friday.